Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Gus.
The saga of Mass Effect Andromeda continues, sort of, because it looks like the developer, BioWare Montreal, might not actually really be a thing anymore, judging by some new moves just pulled by parent company Electronic Arts.
According to a new statement from EA, BioWare Montreal has been merged into another...
That's a nicer way of putting it.
There you go. Into another EA studio, Motive, capping off a long and troubled road for the team that launched Mass Effect Andromeda to mixed reactions back in March.
And the good times just kept on coming since then. You will note that anytime someone loses a merger, they merge. Anytime someone wins, it's an acquisition.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we've acquired them, but like, if we've merged, you're the one being absorbed.
It's whether you're moving your shit or they're moving their shit.
Right. So first, background on what's been going on this week. Speculation that BioWare Montreal suffered the red ending started late last week thanks to EA's investor earnings call when the company said that the studio would now be housed in a new building with one of EA's other studios, Motive.
Considering how bleak things have been looking for Montreal since the release of Mass Effect Andromeda, it's hard to blame people for wondering. EA CFO Blake Jorgensen said in that conference call, "We're building out a new studio in Montreal, as we've told everyone, and we've hired over 100 people into that studio that are brand new to EA. This is to build the new IP around Jade Raymond's team that she's been building. I was in that studio last month, and it's a wonderful new addition to our team. And we brought our BioWare Montreal team into that same facility, so they now all sit in one new studio together."
Yeah, that last part sounds an awful lot like a PR-y way to say that BioWare Montreal has been sort of shut down and its staff shuffled over to work on more worthwhile projects now that Mass Effect Andromeda is reportedly in the can for a while.
I mean, nonsense. They haven't been absorbed into the new studio. They're just hanging out and sharing a building, right?
And working on Anthem since that was another thing. They were like, oh no, they've just moved over to work with Motive, but they're still BioWare.
Yeah.
So rumors have continued to mount over the past few days since that conference call until, well, EA basically just confirmed it. The company said in a statement to Take Raptor, "The teams in EA Worldwide Studios are packed with talent, and more than ever, we're driving collaboration between studios on key projects. With multiple major projects in development in Montreal, we are merging BioWare Montreal with Motive Studios. This is an ongoing process, but there are many exciting roles and opportunities for everyone on the team."
So not like this, like this.
Sure.
Yeah.
How do you hold hands? That's weird.
Yeah. No, it's like they're not like side by side. They're like integrated.
You want to hold hands, Gus?
No. They went on to say BioWare continues its work on new titles, including the highly anticipated game Anthem. What's coming next for BioWare is very exciting, and we're thrilled to have Casey Hudson returning to lead the studios in Edmonton and Austin.
Translation: everything's amazing. Pay no attention to BioWare Montreal and Mass Effect. We've got Anthem, and Anthem is just great. All hail Anthem.
So now it appears that BioWare Montreal is no more, and it's all just Motive Studios from now on. Though who knows, maybe EA will refer to BioWare Montreal from time to time just to save a little bit of face.
Sure. As for what BioWare Montreal will be working on with Motive, now that they're part of that.
What are their motives?
Well, at the moment, the two main projects we know about at Motive are the Battlefront 2 single-player campaign, as well as the new, so watch out for that one, as well as the new original IP for EA that's being helmed by Jade Raymond. That project is said to be gigantic and apparently takes a lot of inspiration from Assassin's Creed, which makes sense since she was the producer on the first title and worked on several titles after that as well, but hopefully they don't outsource as much animation as BioWare Montreal did.
The news of BioWare Montreal getting shuffled over shouldn't come as that much of a surprise to anybody who's been following the saga of Mass Effect Andromeda over the last 4 months. The game dropped in March to a lower than expected 71 on Metacritic.
Which isn't, I mean, it's low, but it's not that low. It was more of a joke than anything.
It's not as high as the other games.
Yes.
And it quickly became a meme with gamers due to some poorly implemented facial animations, and of course,
to say the least,
people holding gun backwards or unable to walk downstairs.
General criticism about story and execution, all that stuff. So following that poor reception and reaction from players came some troubling rumors that the studio was being downsized by EA and the Mass Effect franchise was being thrown into cold storage because the game underperformed. And then following that, there were also some rumors that the game's planned single-player DLC had been canceled, with not much word at all from BioWare about whether or not that was actually the case.
We're still waiting, right?
Well, I don't know, now that they're part of Motive.
It's pretty much, can't wait for that Motive DLC. Then there was a fairly major shakeup at the company soon after, with previous general manager Aaron Flynn out and former Mass Effect lead Casey Hudson back in to oversee the development of the upcoming sci-fi RPG Anthem. So from the outside, things haven't looked so hot for BioWare Montreal.
Yeah, it's a shame for a rookie studio too. All that being said, Mass Effect Andromeda did make EA a significant chunk of change. It still turned a profit. In that same earnings call where they quietly announced the studio had been rumored, they also attributed Mass Effect Andromeda to a rise in quarterly sales, as well as a significant contributor to overall growth.
Hey, I paid for it.
I played for it.
You played for it?
I played and paid for it.
At that time, CFO Blake Jorgensen said, full game PC and console downloads generated net sales of $111 million, 32% higher than last year. This was driven by Mass Effect Andromeda sales captured in the quarter. They offered no real look at the game's sales.
Yeah, no hard number.
Yeah, and EA didn't have a comparable launch in the first quarter of 2016, but hey, they confirmed that it made money.
That's good. So the combination of rumors and financial success has made the future of BioWare Montreal kind of a little bit of a flux. Well, until now. We can only wish BioWare Montreal employees the best of luck in their new endeavors with Motive, and I mean, it sounds like they're working on very cool projects, so that's exciting for a lot of them. And hopefully BioWare can figure out what to do with Mass Effect sooner rather than later.
Although, take your time, make it good.
Make it good.
We also can't talk about this story and things going on at BioWare without also mentioning some sad news. Longtime BioWare designer Corey Gasper passed away this week. Gasper joined BioWare in 2007 and served as the lead designer on their upcoming game, Anthem.
In a blog post remembering Corey, BioWare wrote, "He was a member of our team for over 9 years and worked as a designer on many of our titles, including Sonic Chronicles, Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 2 and 3, and most recently, Anthem."
Corey was a talented designer and an even better person. We offer our condolences to Corey's family and everyone that knew him. We will miss you.
So that's a bit of a bummer. And he worked on a lot of games that I've really enjoyed. So thank you for your work. And feel free to leave your comments about the story of BioWare Montreal's merger with Motive, but most especially, please feel free to comment on some of the games that Gasper worked on over the years and what you appreciated about them, because we all benefited from his work.
Yes, indeed. CFO Blake Jorgensen said that in
this week,
the team, is that me or is that you?
I don't know. Hey, Eddy.
Usually I put it on the same line by
the news of BioWare Montreal getting